joining us today. We are going to give it about one more minute for any late comers, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, good morning, everybody. It's about 1 minute after 10, so we're going to go ahead and kick things off. Thank you all for joining us today. Katie Town wasn't able to be here to do her usual intro, so I will take over on her intro today. We are going to be talking about getting the most out of farm shows today. So we have joining us Chelsea Stoa, who is from our social media and public relations team, and she's going to talk about how you can best leverage social and PR to help you get the most out of your show. And then Andrew Horst, who is a marketing automation strategist, will talk about how to follow up with any leads you get from farm shows and how to best nurture those leads. We also have two special guests joining us today. We have the two Rachels from Farmer Core, and they will be talking to us a little bit about what Farmer Core is for those of you who are not familiar with it, and then also some new and exciting truck reps that you guys are able to tap into for your dealerships. So we will go ahead and get started and let Chelsea take it away.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. So like Kira said, we're going to talk a little bit about how to really capitalize on farm shows from a social media and public relations perspective. So I have an agenda here, a few different things. We're going to, number one, go through kind of understanding the importance of a farm show and how it can really help your dealership, how to leverage public relations for shows, and really go over kind of a broad spectrum of what public relations actually is. And then social media strategies. So the lead up, the show strategy, and then also post-show strategy, and then tactics for after the show as well. So we'll go through all the things and make sure that there's a full understanding of how it can benefit you and your dealership. So first of all, why are farm shows important? Number one, they get you direct engagement with your target audience. So farm shows, as you guys all know, attract farmers and ag professionals who are specifically interested in the latest farming technologies and equipment. So this is a great place for you guys to showcase your equipment, to get your salespeople out on the floor, to engage with those show attendees, and to really get kind of face-to-face communication. So it's really beneficial because it means your potential customers are already in attendance. And so it's a prime opportunity for direct engagement. You can also showcase your products in person. So if there's a big launch coming up, you're able to have your customers see, touch, feel, even sometimes drive the equipment in person. And so it presents a better opportunity for sales there as well. You can have live demonstrations. So this can demonstrate the capabilities and advantages of your tractors or pieces of equipment. So here on the left-hand side of the screen was AgRev at the National Farm Machinery Show. They had a Fendt interactive display where people could actually sit in the driver's seat and see how it would look from that perspective. So a really, really cool display for customers to sit in and get the feel for the piece of equipment. You can also have live demonstrations, which can highlight the capabilities and advantages of your equipment. So again, seeing the equipment in action can be a powerful selling point. So some shows have ride-in drives where people can actually get behind the wheel of the tractor and drive it so that they can see, again, feel, sit in the seat and see kind of how it would work for them. And then also it builds brand awareness and loyalty. So anytime you see a piece of equipment at a booth at a show, it builds kind of that brand loyalty, the brand awareness, and just gets your customers a better face-to-face interaction there too. So we're also going to talk about kind of maximizing your return on investment and different things you can do to make sure that you are capitalizing on the farm shows. So you can have things like interactive displays. So again, like I said, AgRev had that Fendt interactive display at the National Farm Machinery Show. And I know there's a line to go through and sit in there and kind of feel what it would feel like from that driver's seat, which was really cool and very popular. You can do things like educational workshops, how-tos, things like that, ride and drives. You can do promotional giveaways. So anything from, one show I went to, they gave away little keychain things that were branded. They gave away whiskey ball, ice ball things that were branded, things like that, that put your brand and your name out within the show floor so that people can come and recognize your brand. And again, just feel like they're a little bit closer to your brand there too. It's great for lead generation. So again, you have a great target audience there who is there specifically to look at equipment. And so build on that. And with lead generation, you can do something as simple as having people sign up to get a piece of swag. So that you have an email list now that you can send things to, and you can you have a whole new customer list that you're reaching out to. Another thing you could do is offer a sale or discount for show attendees. So if there's maybe a 10% discount on, I don't know, merchandise or whatever it may be, but you can offer some sort of discount, again, to make them feel like they're important and that, coming to the booth is a popular thing and something that you want to continue doing. And then, of course, brand exposure. So again, with all of these things listed above, it's just going to expose your brand to a whole new group of people and allow you to really continue to build upon what you've done. So again, these are a couple of different photos here from the National Farm Machinery Show. So AgRev had a booth where they had influencers come and speak. And so that's the upper right-hand corner. And then we also had the Chronicles of Kayla, who is, who does some stuff for Massey Ferguson. And so she was also at the booth interacting with people, and we really capitalized on that as well. So next I want to hop into leveraging public relations at these shows and what public relations really is. So public relations is a strategic communication process that builds mutually beneficial relationships between organizations and their publics. So what does that mean? Basically, what we like to do is look at public relations as a bank of public perception. So you want to put as much money into the account, into your banking account, so that you have a positive balance in the case that something terrible happens, right? Or you have a crisis communication, a crisis that happens. You want to have that positive balance so that there's still money in your account to pull from, so you don't have a negative balance when a crisis happens. So essentially, the more that you can engage with your public, the more you can engage with the media and build positive stories around your brand and your dealership. If something bad does happen, they're still going to have that positive thought around your dealership and what you do, rather than, the negative. So you want to build it up as much as you can. And we're going to go through a few ways that you can do that here at farm shows. So leading up to your show, you're going to want to do a few different things. You're going to want to build a press list, which is basically just different media outlets, influencers, journalists, things like that, that you can reach out to. You're going to want to pitch to desired outlets or reporters for interviews. And we're going to go through the difference here and kind of what a pitch versus a press release is and how to do those different things. You're going to want to prep your interview subjects. So if you have set up interviews where media is coming to your booth to interview people, making sure that your interview subjects are prepped with key talking points, things that you want to make sure that they hit on, what to wear, things like that. So just making sure that they are prepped in all those aspects. We always recommend making sure that you're wearing something branded for the dealership to make sure that you are again, just representing the brand. Develop a press kit. So what that would include would be something as simple as who your spokespeople are, photos from your dealership or photos that they can use in a story, things like that. So it can be very simple, or it can be very extreme, where you put in things like, you can have bios of all your spokespeople and your leadership teams. You can have press releases in there. You can have photos, you can have video. You can put B-roll in there if you'd like. So different things that you can add into that press kit to really maximize your content. And then you're also going to want to create a social media plan. So again, I'll dive into that here in a couple of slides of what exactly that would look like. But creating a social media plan leading up to the show to make sure that you're driving traffic to your booth. And again, just maximizing the show attendees and what you're doing there. So a couple different things of a pitch versus what a press release is. I wanted to go over this just because they are very different. And it's something that when you are looking at getting coverage for your show, when you're at the show, these are a couple different things and a couple different topics that you'll want to kind of cover when you're looking at this. So a pitch is something that is very targeted and personal. It's a targeted and personal email to specific journalists or influencers or media outlets that you are sending them a direct email asking them to come to your booth for a specific reason. So it is an individualized email. It's a two-way conversation. Your content is very concise. So you're saying, hey, for example, if I was writing, I'd say, hey, I'm Chelsea. I'm writing on behalf of AgRev. I would love for you guys to stop by our booth at National Farm Machinery Show. Here are the things that we'll be featuring, and here are the topics that we'd love to cover. So just keeping it short and concise, making sure that you are making it newsworthy and make them want to come to your booth. So a lot of times these journalists and these outlets at the shows have a ton of different places they have to stop at. So making sure that you are making your booth really newsworthy and really exciting for them to come and stop by. A press release is a little bit different. So that one is something that you'll send to a mass group of people via email, and you would blind copy everybody. It would provide information about the event. So it would just say, hey, we will be at National Farm Machinery Show. Would love to have you stop by booth 1708. Hope to see you there. And it would have the information of your booth, all the different things that you're featuring, that type of thing. So basically, this is meant to be, a press release is meant that if the journalist or outlet doesn't stop by your booth, they would be able to still publish a story from the information in your press release. So that's kind of the difference there. A pitch would be when somebody comes to your booth and they can get direct quotes and information from your spokespeople. So when we're looking at building a press release, a list, here are the kind of the people that you would want to make sure that you put on your list when you're reaching out to, especially to pitch to. So typically when you go to a show, when you sign up, they will have a show media list of all the media who has signed up to come to the show. So that's a great starting point if you are sending out a press release. From there, you can also look at your local media outlets, your regional media outlets, any influencers, podcasters, or bloggers that are going to be at the show as well. And kind of pitching or sending a press release to them based on kind of what your goals are for the show. So next, I also want to talk about social media prep. So there are a couple different things that you should do leading up to the show and, to make sure that you are best positioning yourself for success at the show. So number one is go in with a plan. Don't go in just saying, oh, we'll just capture content and we'll, post it online. We'll post it online and do, as it comes through, and we'll come up with copy and captions then. Make sure you go in with a plan, specifically a shot list. So what types of photos exactly are you trying to capture when you're there? What types of videos are you trying to capture when you're there? Determine the people who are comfortable being on camera or being posted online. So determine your spokespeople. Make sure that you prepare. So come with, a fully charged phone if you're taking phone photos. If you're going to do any sort of interview on your phone or things like that, make sure you come with a microphone so that people can hear the people on the show floor. Just making sure that you're fully prepared when you come to the show so that you can set yourself up for success. Again, look at influencers that are going to be there. So if there are influencers that are going to be at your booth, making sure you're following them, have a plan to reshare their content, have a plan to engage with them in whatever way you want to. But those are things that are really huge and again, can just amplify your messaging. And then also follow accounts you want to engage with. So if you know that National Farm Machinery Show is a hashtag, follow that hashtag. Follow if there's an account, follow that account, and just making sure that if they're posting about your booth in any way, then you're set up to be able to reshare that content so that you're not having to constantly come up with new content when you're there. So again, it just really comes down to making that plan and setting yourself up for success. So this is an example of what a social media calendar leading up to the show could look like. So this is one that we did for, again, the National Farm Machinery Show. So we actually typed up the copy that we wanted to write. We had a shot list of exactly the type of photo that we wanted for that post, and then where the post would go, and then what we would do with that. So here's just kind of a very simple outline we did in an Excel spreadsheet that you can go through and, make sure that your copy is approved with your stakeholders. And again, just setting yourself up for success. So things you want to make sure that you're mentioning is your booth number. So wherever you are, making sure you're posting that on social media, making sure that you are tagging entities that are relevant. So for here, it would have been, we had National Farm Machinery Show. They have a social media account, so we tagged them. We tagged AGCO when we could. So just making sure that you are amplifying your messaging so that when you're tagging people or entities, they're able to reshare your content super easily without actually going in and looking for it. So when it's showtime, these are a few different things that you want to make sure that you are doing when you're actually on the show floor and you're set up. So executing your plan. So you've come up with a plan and you are set up for success. So now it's just time to execute. So making sure that you are taking photos of things like kids, if the kids are on the tractor or checking things out, if there's a dog at the show, as you just saw, taking things like that. Anytime there are people interacting with your booth or with your salespeople or whatever it may be, taking those types of photos so that not only you can use them for the show, but you can also use them for future content as well. Making sure that you are utilizing the event hashtag. A lot of times events will follow those hashtags and reshare any content that is used with that hashtag. So again, it's just amplifying your messaging in a super simple way. We did that a lot for the last show we were at, where we used the hashtag, and then the event page was able to share things onto their Instagram stories, things like that, so that again, people are driving traffic to your booth without you having to have a heavy lift. Sharing live updates. So this can be something as simple as doing videos from the show floor. It can be doing Facebook Lives or Instagram Lives. It can be doing things like that. It can be really utilizing your stories. So just different ways that you can update your show attendees from the show floor and make them feel like they're a part of it. And then making sure you're engaging with your attendees. So people are going to probably tag your dealership or use, again, the hashtag, things like that. So making sure that you are going out and finding that content and then sharing it out on your social channels. It makes people feel really connected with the brand. It gets them really excited if their content is shared. And again, it just builds that kind of brand loyalty and brand affinity. Again, that's just kind of goes hand in hand as monitoring and responding. So if people are commenting on your posts or they're tagging you in something, making sure you're going out and engaging with them, commenting back, thanking them for stopping at your booth, that type of thing. So just making sure that you are making them feel like they're seen and heard and you're appreciating their time that they're spending with you on the show floor. And then another way that you can do this too is promoting from the show floor. So this is something that Gleaner had posted on their social channels. It is, they shot us, I just took a screenshot of this, but they shot a video from the show floor, encouraging people to stop by, telling them where they were, hitting those high points. So it's a really cool setup. It's something that is, again, makes people feel like, okay, I saw this on social media. I'm going to go make sure I stop by their booth. They are super friendly. they're wearing branded clothing. So they're doing everything right here. So just making sure that you are seeing these things, and any opportunity that you can have to put people on video is going to be great. As we all know, video is king on social media. So the more video we can use, especially at a show, the better off we're going to be. And then again, just wanting to capitalize on UGC, which is user generated content, and influencers. So again, resharing anything that people have posted, and then resharing influencer stuff. So the two on the left hand side, we actually had interviews set up with different people. So this is from a public relations perspective. So making sure that when you are seeing these opportunities, you're taking photos, you're watching those different entities and seeing if they're posting about you and sharing those things out. And then the one on the right is another opportunity for, if things are a little bit slower on the show floor, like especially in the last day or so of the show, using your salespeople and using your stakeholders to get more content for future use. So this one is one that we shot at Farm Progress a couple of years ago. And so that was a little bit slower. So we just mic'd up this sales guy, and we asked him to do a couple of videos, and we use them for future content. So again, when you have all these people in one place, just utilizing them and making sure that you're keeping them busy when they're there as well. Post event. So making sure that you are sending out a thank you post. So maybe a recap post of your favorite photos from the event, and, you know, thanking everybody for stopping by. And then sending an email to all of the journalists and outlets that stop by. So it can be something as simple as, hey, we really appreciate you stopping by our booth. Let us know if you need any additional context from the interviews you did or anything like that. Another thing that we really like to do is we are from Fargo, North Dakota. So we love to send things like Fargo specific. We have Fargo specific coffee. We have things that are really specific to our area. So we like to do send out kind of thank you kits. Another thing we like to do is Dots Pretzels is from North Dakota. So we love to send out Dots Pretzels. It's kind of our claim to fame. So we'll send out a bag of Dots Pretzels and thank the reporter for coming. And it's just something that, again, makes them feel very appreciated, and that the next time that they come to or they see your name, or they see you're going to be at a farm show, they're more apt to come and follow or do a story on your dealership. So again, making sure that you're repurposing content. So it goes back to show prep. So you're following the outlets that you want to, or the influencers or the accounts that you want to make sure that you're seeing what kind of content they have out. So if you know that you have a journalist that stopped by that's going to do a story, making sure you're following them on social media so that you can reshare that easily without having to go in and search for it. And then also post-event analytics. So this is something that we do when we work with dealerships on shows, but looking at, okay, how many people stopped by? How many articles did we get out of that? How many broadcast clips did we get out of it? What's our reach? All those types of things. So this is a tool that we use at AGCO Direct to really capitalize on everything that we have posted about or done at farm shows. And so it's a really cool tool. It just really shows you kind of how much, how much your reach was and how much you can capitalize on those types of articles. So just wanted to mention too that all of these different things that we mentioned, we are happy to help with at AGCO Direct. I know it can feel a little bit overwhelming when you go to a farm show, but these are things that we do every day. And so we're happy to help you with anything, any needs you have there as well. And with that, I will throw it over, I believe, to Andrew.
Yeah, thanks, Chelsea. So we also have giant sunflower seeds in Wahpeton, North Dakota as well. So another claim to fame to North Dakota. Chelsea had a bunch of great points. I'm going to continue on to that with more focus with email marketing, because that's kind of my forte here. So generate, nurture, and grow relationships. So leading up to, I'll cover the agenda. So we're going to talk about why is email marketing effective. We're going to want to generate some buzz and anticipation leading up to the trade show. Some lead generation tactics. Chelsea had some great tactics. I'll continue on that. And then obviously we're going to want to nurture those leads gathered from that trade show. So why is email marketing effective? So email marketing, it's an effective technique because it's low cost, relatively inexpensive. It's direct, and it can be personalized. So it allows organizations to really build and maintain those customer relationships and provide valuable, relevant content, and also provides measurable results. So when I say cost effective, I mean, it's relatively inexpensive. I've seen there's platforms out there where you can get, started with them for relatively $20 a month to get off the ground. And this includes the capability of deploying emails, obviously, but also having specific automations in place, as well as integration with lead gen forms. So it's an essential tool to build customer relationships. It's that direct line of communication between yourself and your audience. So it can feel very personal if we use maybe some specific product interests that they've expressed to you at the trade show, or addressing them by their first name, or maybe any sort of affiliation that they're with. Certainly helps your efforts. Build a brand awareness. Again, that goes hand in hand with building those relationships, obviously, but providing that valuable content and just keeping your brand really on top of mind for those contacts is beneficial. Retaining customers. Email marketing gives us the ability to identify when a customer may become non-engaged with a typical cadence, or maybe they're lapsed. Maybe they've lapsed their typical purchase cycle when you anticipated maybe they'd be coming in to purchase a new product from you. It gives us the ability to target those contacts specifically to maybe provide some additional information or encourage them to stop by the dealership, or maybe have some extra incentives in there as well. And then measurable results. So, the great thing with email marketing is we can go in there and see relatively quickly, how effective your campaign or how effective your touch point was, and be able to, maybe adjust your strategy accordingly, or, hit them with additional touch points. Measurable results. Email marketing has a fantastic ROI. I've seen anywhere at the latest stats right around $38 to $40 of return based on every dollar spent on email marketing. So it's an effective tool, and it's just great that we're able to see exactly how effective those campaigns can be relatively quickly after each touch point. So generating buzz and anticipation. Maintaining regular communication is going to be important leading up to the show. If you have a marketing automation platform in place and you have an established contact list, maybe sending out a sequence of 3 to 4 emails leading up to an event can be effective. Highlighting the benefits of a future trade show or opportunities within an organization of attending a trade show or stopping by your booth. Be sure, if you know what your booth number is already, include that within the email itself. Include maybe the floor plan within the email itself, and anything that we can include to drive traffic to your booth is going to be essential. So if you have any specific events or maybe some VIP events during the trade show or after the trade show, highlight those as well. You can make your contacts feel very important and exclusive by inviting them to those specific events for, beers or whatever after the trade show to network, or just, market yourselves as a dealership. So, all right. And then include a sense of urgency. That's pretty obvious, but, use messaging or phrasing such as, hey, don't forget, we have, Farm Progress coming up here this weekend, or X trade show coming up this weekend. Don't forget to stop by our booth number 309. And, we have these, giveaways or anything that we can include to entice people to attend. So lead generation tactics, Chelsea mentioned this, but we found that, keeping something just simple QR codes have been known to be very effective for people who, just kind of drift by your booth or congregating around your booth. They can quickly take out their phone and quickly go directly to a lead gen page. That's certainly a way that we can simplify the process to make that contact gathering of their information very efficient. It's easier for people to provide their information, maybe express a product interest or sign up for a giveaway or anything like that very quickly. So it's pretty seamless process there. Also, we're always encouraging people to have any sort of technology readily available at the booth. Have your tablets ready to capture contact information. Anything that we can do at the booth to drive traffic. I know Chelsea talked about having interactive booth activities or influencers or anything really. Promotional giveaways is certainly going to help your efforts to just get people to come to your booth and sign up using the forms. And then last resort, we know that not everyone's going to, have tablets or have laptops or anything like that. Having something similar is just a little, physical sign up form. Anything that you can do to just, gather contact information is going to be beneficial. You're going to want to come away from that trade show with leads, with information. So have physical sign up forms. Anything you can do is going to be beneficial for your dealership. So. Next slide here. So nurture contacts. So here's where the fun gets going here. So if you have a marketing automation platform in place, hopefully you do, by the time that you're leading up to the trade show and then at the trade show, once contacts complete the form and hit submit, ideally they're going to receive an instant thank you. So an automated instant thank you saying, hey, hopefully we can bring in some personalization. Hey, John, thanks for stopping by our booth at X Trade Show. Be sure to stop by for our VIP events or here's some additional information about us. Having that instant gratification and that automation in place is going to be fantastic for you to really nurture that relationship. So also a welcome series would be good. This doesn't have to be immediate since we have that already immediate thank you, but maybe a couple of days from sign up. Providing a little bit more about us, more in-depth about your organization or the different, providing a warm welcome overview of your company's mission or the products or values of your organization will certainly help. And this can consist of, 2 to 3 emails going more in depth within each individual email. So make it a series to just really nurture those contacts. Thank you notes. So follow up with personalized thank you emails again for visiting their booth, expressing gratitude or interest. Personalization. So the data that we're collecting, the more data that we can collect at the event is going to be more beneficial for you. So we can address the contact by their name, maybe their specific product interests, maybe a specific model or brand that they're interested in. Anything that we can incorporate within our email communication is going to be great. So follow-up nurture campaigns. We can start simple with this. Once we are building our list, we can start with a monthly update. A monthly type newsletter. It might be some dealer events or upcoming promotions or service updates. Anything really that can provide value to the contact, we can include in there. Some things I thought of as maybe reviews or testimonials, success stories of other farmers or anyone that have benefited from the products and services. Post-show recap and survey, keep the conversation going with the contacts. So send a recap of the trade show, include any photos, any key takeaways, any special announcements that may have been made by during the event. Would certainly be good. Survey for feedback. So include, a survey. It's a great way to just get an idea of, what people liked or what people may believe may have been improved. This is just for your key takeaways of making that next trade show even better. So those are certainly just some some general ideas that you can take away from the trade show, and really just continue that conversation with these contacts or these leads to keep that conversation going and really nurturing them through that pipeline to hopefully, lead to a conversion there one day. So I believe that's all I had for my part. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining today. My name is Rachel Prosser. I work at AGCO in our distribution management team, and I'm focused on helping create a dealer channel and distribution channel that is really connected to the customer and offering a great farmer first customer experience through all of our different ways that we interact with the customers. Today, I'm excited to talk to you about FarmerCore and one of our new launches in the FarmerCore area that we'll get to in the next couple slides. First off, FarmerCore, we did launch this in January. So some of you, if you haven't heard about this, it is our initiative to revolutionize the farmer experience by creating a blended ecosystem of digital and physical touch points, enabling AGCO, our brands, and you and our dealer network to deliver an industry-leading farmer experience. Now, this FarmerCore, we'll say strategy, is really made up of 3 different pillars. So we have smart network coverage, mobile and on-farm solutions, and customer-facing digital tools. All of these things we will talk about in more detail in future webinars. Today, we're going to focus on the mobile and on-farm solutions, but all of this together helps us achieve our goals of reaching 20% market share for our AGCO brands, completing 50% of our service jobs on farm, creating a closer channel to the customers so that customers can drive 30 minutes or less to access the parts, sales, and service support that they need. All of this should help us improve the customer experience, which should come through in our Net Promoter Score. So we're trying to reach that score of 70 on the NPS. And that NPS is really important because that question is, would you recommend AGCO? Would you recommend our AGCO brands? Would you recommend this product? And would you recommend your dealership? So trying to get that score of 70 shows us that we are creating a great customer experience that our customers are going to recommend to their friends. Knowing that people buy from people, it's really important for us to have a nice score there. So today, the exciting announcement that we have is focused on the mobile and on-farm solutions pillar of FarmerCore. So we are excited to announce that we have partnered with Stellar Industries. They are a service truck manufacturer and upfitter based in Iowa. But with this agreement, all of our AGCO dealers can receive special pricing on the entire Stellar fleet of not just service trucks, crane trucks, but also the tooling that comes on it, lube trucks, lube skids, all the different things that Stellar offers. We do have special AGCO pricing on the entire fleet, which is really cool. That comes with fully customizable configurations. So either Stellar can source your chassis for your service truck in the US or Canada, or if you have a chassis that you want to provide, they can upfit it for you, source from wherever you want, and get that fully customized so that you have the product that you need for your specific marketplace and customer needs. We've also secured faster delivery times, so hopefully that's a faster speed to solution to get these trucks ordered and into your fleet. And then the one that we'll focus a little bit more in detail today on is that you can come from the factory with custom wraps. So service trucks obviously are out in the field doing on-farm service, either in the field or on the farm, and they're great driving billboards for you and your dealership. So they're one of the best marketing tools that you have in your toolbox to associate your brand with on-farm support and start eliminating that selling objection or the customer's hurdle of, I don't think that you can support me, or maybe your store is farther away. Having your trucks wrapped and promoting your dealership and having that mobile fleet helps eliminate that customer challenge that we've heard is pretty common in North America. So for these custom wraps, first off, is the ordering process. So to order any of your service vehicles or any of the products through Stellar, to secure the AGCO special pricing, you will need to contact Chris Rycroft. And we do have his contact information listed here, and we have provided that in several other places as well. You may also reach out to your AGCO after sales rep, and they can get you connected with Chris if there's any issues there. For the custom wraps, like we said, these can come factory installed, completely custom based on what you want, the design that you want. They are co-op eligible. So there's two ways for you to create these custom wraps. Either you can create the design on your own, submit that through the co-op portal to make sure that they're going through the review process to ensure eligibility, or AGCO Direct will be able to design a custom wrap for you on any size machine, completely custom. They can create it, design it, help you get it placed with Stellar. Again, bonus of working with AGCO Direct, shameless plug, is that all the creative is pre-approved for co-op. So that's one less step that you have to go through to get your truck wrapped and make it a lovely moving billboard to build your brand and get some more exposure and confidence with the customers in your local marketplace. We do have two detailed handouts that are included in the presentation today. We do have the Stellar product brochure. So we've worked with Stellar to build out some pre-configured options that are a great starting point for you to get started if you don't have something in your fleet, but also can be fully customizable. So all the details, contact information, everything that you need to know to get started is included in that product brochure. And then we also have a one-pager included in our handout section that details the process for working with AGCO Direct to capitalize on those custom wrap design services. I would encourage and ask you to make sure that you share this with your team. So we sent out several communications to service managers and general managers, folks on that side of the business. So I would recommend that you please share this with those folks as well to make sure that they know that we can get special pricing on service trucks and service equipment, and making sure that they have Chris's contact information to get that started. But would love to see the fleets expanding and would love to see you capitalizing on this opportunity to create the custom wraps to make a really nice looking fleet and solidify your brand with the customers. Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. And thanks everybody else for presenting today. We do have a few questions in the chat, so we're going to go through those quick. If anybody else has any questions as we answer these ones in the chat, feel free to put those into the chat box and we will go ahead and get those answered for you. Also, just as a reminder, in the handouts tab are those two handouts that Rachel just talked about. So please go ahead and download those as well. We will send those out in a recap email too if you want to share them with anyone else within your dealership. Our first question is from Stephanie, and Stephanie asked, how do we use Farm Show to get more customers onto e-commerce? Would that not be a best way to get customer info and show them our new shopping tool? Stephanie, yes, I think a Farm Show is a great place to show how e-com works, and I'll let Andrew add any thoughts he has as well. When I was at a dealership, we definitely used Farm Shows to show our customers how e-com worked. We would have a table set up and have somebody demoing the e-com platform right at the show. So I think that's a really good way to just show off the tool and how it works. And then also to get them signed up for e-com, you can do that right there at the show. It's a really easy way to do that lead capture and get them sold on the ease of e-commerce. We know this is a big mind shift for a lot of customers. So using that show to help demonstrate the tool, I think, is a great idea. Andrew, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that it's great. Like you had mentioned, if you want to showcase those e-commerce platforms right at the trade show is certainly beneficial. Also, I mean, if we have a marketing and automation platform integrated with your e-commerce tool, we can do great things, such as if they've provided any browsing history or abandoning carts. We can implement those triggers to really target those contacts using your e-commerce platform with specific product interests taken directly from your e-commerce website. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely some great things that you can do. And best way to get customer info, yes. I mean, if the platform is integrated with your e-commerce platform or software as well, those will go hand in hand with your CRM system to gather that customer data.
Thanks, Andrew. Our next question was also from Stephanie, and she asked, is co-op through parts or whole goods? And I believe this was related to the truck wraps. And Stephanie, that's going to depend on if the wrap focuses more on parts or focuses more on whole goods. So if you're using that wrap to promote your parts, it will be co-op through parts. If you're using it to promote whole goods, it will be co-op through whole goods. Again, if you use us at AGCO Direct, another shameless plug, we will take care of that for you and help advise you on the best route to go. And we can even look at how much co-op you have in each bucket to see if it makes more sense to use parts or whole goods. Kevin asked, what is the best program to collect people's info to use for leads at farm shows? Andrew, I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, so I'll also address your second question there. I think they definitely go hand in hand. Kevin asked again, what marketing and automation platform do you recommend? And so the marketing automation platform can be used in connection with any CRM platform that you may have, or interconnected with your CRM to build lead generation forms, maybe custom websites within the platform itself, whether it be Salesforce or, there's tons of different platforms out there. So it's really based on your budget, your expected contact list, and then the needs that you want it for. So there's platforms out there such as Salesforce Marketing Cloud that are very extensive and can get complex pretty quickly. And then there's platforms out there such as Klaviyo or MailChimp is a recognizable name that is certainly affordable and can do a lot of the things that these big time platforms can do, such as automations and segmentation, lead generation, form integration. So I would say using one of these marketing automation platforms while having some sort of lead generation form tied to a website or maybe your dealer site integrated with one of these platforms is going to be the key there to get that data collection done. And then, yes, I mean, platforms that we recommend, it's just based on maybe your list size or maybe your budget. So the lower end might be that Klaviyo or MailChimp or, there's plenty of different automation platforms out there. And then on the higher end, there's Acoustic Campaign, there's Salesforce Marketing Cloud, things like that. So yeah, I hope I answered your question, Kevin.
We have a question from Peyton. She said, we struggle to capture customers' information at farm shows. We have tried tablets, QR codes, small ticketed events within the farm show raffles that requires them to submit their information. What have other dealers had success with? Andrew, I don't know if you want to answer this from your end. I know, as we talked about earlier, sometimes incentives are really helpful. I know we've tried some things like we'll send out one work glove, and if they show up at the booth and provide their information, we'll get the other work glove. Entering for a larger raffle item sometimes works. Hats, everybody loves a good hat. Andrew, I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that you want to add based on your experience.
Yeah, I mean, you covered it really well. Anything you can do to incentivize is going to draw bigger crowds. It's going to, help you increase those data signups or form signups. Chelsea, I think you hit some great touch points of anything you can do on social or other channels to drive engagement and get traffic to your booth will be beneficial. Maybe doing those lead up emails to notify contacts to stop by the booth. Yeah, I mean, promotional giveaways certainly help out, but we also see that, a lot of those, obviously, we all know that people are there to get the promotional giveaway. So they're not super qualified leads, but it's helping you grow that list that maybe gives you an opportunity to educate that contact a little bit more about your dealer or your brand or your values. I think will certainly help. So. And
Yeah.
Aaron, I like your comments about offering free shipping or any sort of, incentivizing via e-commerce, whether it be, trade show special, get free shipping on whatever, or any other sort of discount or incentivize opportunity.
I think Aaron has another good comment here, training for show staff and incentivizing show staff. I think that's huge. I've spent a large majority of my professional career at different trade shows and farm shows, and you can really tell when you have a good trained staff and a staff that is not excited to be there. And it makes a huge, huge difference in incentivizing your customers to be engaged at the booth. I know 2 clients that I've worked on. One, they make sure all of their employees are trained. They all have very specific guidelines on what they need to wear, how they need to interact with customers, how they need to show up every day at the show. It's very different than another client I've worked with where they just tell people when to be there. And that's basically the only direction they get. You see a lot of times then those salespeople aren't engaged. They just stand around and talk with each other. It makes a huge, huge difference to your customers too. And your customers are the ones you want to please at the show. So just making sure that your staff is very well trained on this as well. I always like to tell people who are working at a farm show to act like they're a Disney World employee. When you go to Disney World, the employees are always super helpful. They're super engaged. They're happy. If your kid's crying, they hand them a sucker. Train your sales staff to act that way when they're at a farm show. And I think that goes a long, long way. Aaron also commented, hats and giveaways get everyone where you need to focus your staff capturing the ones you want. And I think that's another good point too. Sometimes with leads, it's more about quality over quantity. We want to make sure we're getting the right leads and not just everybody and their brother giving their information just so they can get something. Any other questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the chat. Otherwise, we will go ahead and close out today's webinar. Katie, was there anything you wanted to add?
Just a reminder, we've got our utilization gate, so please get those claims in this week so that we're allowing enough time for the auditors. They get slammed towards the end of May. So remember all that. They've got to have time to sift through all those. So please get those in as soon as possible. Thanks all. And Kevin, to your point on, can we share this chat with everyone? I don't know that we can do that after the fact. I think it's only live in this. Is that right, Kira?
Yeah, it's live during the event. Kevin, we can look at setting it possibly to public next time so you guys can interact with each other more. We'll look into that option and hopefully we can do that in the future.
Cool.
Last thing Aaron wanted to add, I'll just share with all of you, is you want to be unique. Everyone has a tractor. Why should they stop and see you? Again, I think that's a really, really great point, Aaron. You need to find a reason to stand out and be the dealership that they want to come visit at the show. So give them your value prop. Why are you the better dealership in your area? Maybe that goes back to FarmerCore. You're in the right place at the right time, so you're the dealership they want to work with.
Yeah, Aaron, I'll just plug him since I don't think he can speak. He's not a presenter, but obviously, he's a farm show manager for North America. This man is insanely creative on a budget. He just did Ag on the Mall in Washington, D.C., and I can't even tell you how many people were like, oh my gosh, this was amazing. And AEM even said to him, you all, AGCO had the best booth by far of other, all the other folks who were there. You know, he's always thinking of something, but he put a little tiny sandbox with the toy tractors for the kids. And, you know, AGCO booth was crawling with people. So that's his point, you know, do something unique. It doesn't have to be super expensive, although you got to haul in some sand and, you know, get rid of all that. But, you know, there's a plug for AGCO toys with those little tractors. And that was a way to get those kids in there and have an opportunity to talk about value prop. You know, why my dealership? All these other sea of equipment manufacturers out here. Why would you want to do business with us? And that's probably the biggest step to solve for there. So good point, Erin.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for attending today. We know lots of you probably have lots of farm shows coming up over the next few months. So if you need anything or any help with your shows, please reach out to us. We are happy to help. If you have any questions on FarmerCore, I know we provided lots of contact information to reach out on that as well as the handouts that are attached here too. So thank you to the Rachels for joining us today as well. They will be on next month's webinar as well, talking about some additional assets you'll be able to leverage for your dealership for FarmerCore. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we'll see you next month.